Witness sworn.
Mr. Cecil, before we get started, I'm gonna ask you to use your best outside.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Will you state your name for the record, please?
Christopher Cecil.
And will you spell your first and last name for me, please?
CHRISTOPHRCCIL.
And how are you employed?
With the Indiana State Police.
And what is your rank with the Indiana State Police?
First Sergeant.
First Sergeant Cecil, how long have you been in law enforcement?
20 years.
And what is your role within the Indiana State Police currently?
I'm the commander of the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Did you have to go through special education or training to be a law enforcement officer?
Yes.
And did you have to go through special training or schooling to be involved in the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and the commander of the ISP APAC unit?
Yes.
First Sergeant Cecil, I'm gonna ask how you what's been marked as states.
This is my CV.
And does that document have a list of the various training, educational programs, and experience that you've had through your 20 years of law enforcement?
Yes.
Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked as States Exhibit 224, I believe yes, 224. States Exhibit 224 offered.
No objection. All right. Without objection, 224 is admitted.
And, Your Honor, I'd ask permission to be able to publish that to the jury.
You may.
Was there enough copies for everybody on the jury?
Yeah.
Okay. First Sergeant Cecil, I want to direct your attention first to page 7 of your CV. After graduating high school, what did you do?
I enlisted in the Marine Corps.
And how long were you in the Marines?
4 years.
And where did you go to college?
University of Evansville.
And did you graduate?
Yes.
And what kind of graduate level certificate did you have upon graduation?
So I earned a graduate certificate in computer forensics.
And did you then proceed on to graduate school?
Yes.
And what are you currently in graduate school?
Yes.
And what is your major?
Cybercrime investigations.
And when are you anticipating on graduating?
December of this year.
I now want to direct your attention to pages 7 through 11 of your CV. What additional training have you gone through involving computer forensics?
I've been through multiple different vendors in computer and cell phone forensics, namely the National White Collar Center, Celebrite, Magnet.
And when you go through those different training seminars, are you trained and educated in how to use those various programs?
Yes.
And those pages 7 through 11 list the various vendors or various training you have on those various programs. Is that fair?
Yes.
And do you use this training and education to help you investigate criminal offenses through your employment with law enforcement?
Yes.
And have you examined or reviewed various digital evidence in other cases before?
Yes.
And just a rough estimate, how many other cases have you been involved in where you were tasked with examining or reviewing digital evidence?
Hundreds.
And I want to direct your attention to page 13 of your CV. Have you gone as far as to provide training and education to other law enforcement officers?
I have.
In what topics have you provided training and education to other law enforcement officers?
Basic cybercrime investigations, basic information on mobile device forensics and vehicle information, infotainment system forensics, child exploitation.
Now, First Sergeant Cecil, I may ask you on occasion to give me a definition of a term you use, or give me a definition or, in basic terms, Tell me what you're talking about. I am not a forensic examiner. I know very little about cell phones besides how to make calls, send text messages, and take pictures. So I'm gonna need you to dumb it down for me a little bit so that I can ask you questions. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the vehicle infotainment system. Just give me a grief. What do you mean when you say that?
That has to do with a car that has a sort of like a computer.
And along with that information and training and education you give to other law enforcement officers. Well, let me back up. How often do you give that training to other law enforcement officers?
Usually 2 or 3 times a year.
And is that on a consistent yearly basis?
It has been, yes.
And have you testified in court before?
Yes, I have.
How many times, if you know, have you testified in court?
Over 20 times.
And in at least some of those instances, have you been declared an expert in the field of digital forensics?
Yes.
I want to draw your attention to 2019. How were you employed in 2019?
I was a computer forensic examiner with the Indiana State Police.
And as a digital forensic examiner, what were your duties in that role?
I conducted digital forensics of cell phones, computers, and at times, vehicle infotainment systems.
And what unit were you with in 2019?
The Cybercrime Unit.
At some point in 2019, did you become involved in the investigation of the...
Yes.
How did you become involved?
The Indiana State Police had acquired a new piece of equipment called the Gray Key, which allowed law enforcement to be able to unlock Apple devices like iPads and iPhones. It also allowed law enforcement to gain access to information that was encrypted that law enforcement had never had access to from an Apple device. This information was critical for law enforcement. We never had seen something like this before, and this piece of equipment allowed us to be able to take an investigation further. And then, as such, I volunteered to re-examine Libby's iPhone 6s.
I'm gonna back you up just a little bit and make sure I understand. This is a new piece of equipment that ISP acquired. And did it allow you to get more information from an electronic device?
Yes.
And so it allowed you to get more information than the other programs, and equipment, and systems that you had prior to getting this?
Yes.
Okay. And you volunteered to re-examine Libby's iPhone 6?
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes, I did.
What did you do to examine that phone?
So I performed a full file system extraction utilizing the Gray Key of her phone.
Can you tell me what that means?
So a full file system extraction is specialized digital technique that allows an examiner to extract the full contents of an Apple device. Contained within that contents are gonna be active files, deleted files, system data, metadata. And devices like the Gray Key is one of the things that could be used to obtain this type of extraction.
And is it fair to say Gray Key allowed you to capture more of that information than prior equipment and programs that you had?
Yes.
When you extract data using the Gray Key, what product do you get out?
So you get a raw, comprehensive, detailed data extraction.
And what do you do with that raw data?
With that raw data, I can ingest it into computer forensic software like Celebrite or Magnet, and then, when I ingest it, I'm processing it, and part of the processing is also concerns parsing, which it automatically is looking for information and putting it into human-readable form. It's also file carding, so it's looking for deleted or lost data. And then, it's also kind of doing some analysis for the forensic examiner who is conducting the processing. And then, from there, the investigator can conduct manual deeper dives into it once the process is completed or start generating reports for the investigator to review.
So let me make sure I understand this. Gray Key is a piece of equipment you use to get the information out of the phone. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But that information is not in a readable format. Is that correct?
It's in a readable format, but one that's not processed so everyone in the.
So then do you take that information that GridKey extracts and you plug that into other programs to make it readable?
Yes.
And then, when you plug it into those other programs that make it readable, does that mean it makes it easier for, well, what does that mean when you say to make it readable?
What it's doing is it's going through databases and it's putting it into human-readable form so you understand what those databases contain, like dates and times, text messages, photos, videos, internet history. It's putting all that together so you can actually be able to quickly review through it.
Does it also separate that information into different logs?
Yes.
And so you would have various log titles and, underneath, you would have the information that came from those logs. Is that a fair representation?
Yes.
Once you get it into that readable format, what do you do next?
So I could do one of two things. I could just generate reports, or I can mainly go through and look at it and compare both softwares together, side by side, and validating my findings and just looking at the data, see what's there.
Which one did you do in this case? Did you just print the report, produce the report, and pass it on, or did you perform the analysis yourself?
I performed an analysis.
And when did you start that analysis?
June 26, 2019.
And when were you completed with that analysis?
August 21, 2019.
So this is not a situation where you look at a report, look at what you see, and then produce your findings immediately. This takes you some time?
Yes.
Once you extracted the data from Libby's iPhone, tell me specifically what you did in this case. What did you do with that data? Once it was extracted using GridKey, what did you do next?
Again, I ingested it into Magnet and Celebrite and allowed it to process. And then, once it's processed, I went through and looked at the data, utilizing both of them. I used both tools because there is no end-all, be-all. There is no one tool that's better than all. I have to have both of them to be able to do this examination and analysis thoroughly.
And when you looked at that data in 2019, what date range or what time period did you look at?
I specifically looked at February 13, 2017.
Why did you pick that date to look at?
Based on the information that I was provided by the investigators, I knew that Libby and Abby were out on the Monon High Trail on that day, and then I knew that Libby had recorded a video depicting Abby and a person who was believed to be her abductor walking across the Monon High Trail bridge.
And so what was your goal with examining the cell phone in 2019? What were you trying to do?
I was trying to establish a sequence of events, a chronological timeline, and compare what was going on the phone.
And through that process, did you generate a report?
I did.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 225. Can you tell the jury what that is?
This is the first written report I completed in 2019.
And it has your name on it. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it has the date that you finished the analysis. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you give me that date again, please?
August 21, 2019.
Judge, the STAT would move to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 225. State's Exhibit 225 offered.
No objection. All right. Without objection, 225 is admitted.
And Your Honor, the State would ask permission to publish that report or that exhibit, to the jury.
You may.
Thank you, Judge. First Sergeant Cecil, before you testified in court today, you had an opportunity to review this report. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you went through that report and in anticipation for questions that you might be asked today. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And on the report that you reviewed, did you make notes, highlights, and comments that would assist you in testifying today?
Yes.
And have you provided that to the state of Indiana in this binder?
Yes.
And with looking at that report and your notes and highlights, would that assist you in testifying today and in swearing various questions from the state?
Yes.
Judge, the state would ask permission to allow the witness to review his report in this binder to assist him in testifying.
Okay. That's fine.
First Sergeant Cecil, I want you to go through your report, and I'm gonna attempt to stand up here to do this, and we'll see how it goes. Do you recognize this as the first page of your report?
Yes.
And so this is what is produced after you take the raw data, and plug it into the various programs, Celebrite Magnet?
This was my written report, yes.
Okay. And the report, in summary, what does that give you? What is produced is what is in this report.
A summary of my findings.
And so I want to draw your attention to the first page of the report, and I want to go through that to I'm gonna scroll down. I want to draw your attention to looks like page 5 of your report. Can you turn to that page, please?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the jury what information is on this page, starting with the top? What does that information tell you?
That's the first thing is the cybercrime unit case number, and then we have the state police case number and then the date that I began the examination.
And it gives you a short introduction. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then it identifies the piece of electronics that you're examining. Is that right?
Yes.
In this case, a gray smartphone inside a slim, burgundy rubber Harry Potter phone case. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the other name of it. Is that correct?
Yes.
I want to move on to the next page. The next page shows a picture not of the phone you examined, but a stock photo. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then we get into what you actually did and the information about the phone and what you did to get the information off the phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so when we talk about this forensic acquisition of data, tell me about that portion of the report.
So here I'm decrypt what type of extraction I obtained from Libby's iPhone, and then I also talk about the SIM card.
And the SIM card is the next section. Is that correct?
Correct.
And does that give you a summary of what you did to download information off or extract information off the SIM card?
It talks about the contents of the SIM card and what it is.
Then, as we move to the next section on page 8, it talks about the user account information.
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what that is?
So this would have been the user account information that I would have found on Libby's iPhone.
And what did that user account information tell you as you reviewed it?
It told me that at least 2 people were using this phone.
And which 2 people were using the phone?
Libby and Abby.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Much of the user account information is attributed to those 2 young girls.
And can you see the user account information in this section of your report?
Yes.
And when you say user account information, do you mean, for example, libby@icloud.com?
Yes.
Is that what you consider user account information?
Yes.
And so you're basing your belief on this user account information that you see in this section of your report. Is that correct?
Correct.
I want to move on to page 9, when it talks about biometric data and specifically Touch ID. Can you tell the jury about what information is in that portion of your report?
Touch ID has to do with this phone because it had to use ID. It was a feature that was common with the Apple iPhone 6s, and I determined that there were 3 biometric fingerprints that were saved to it, right, left, and Abby.
And you were able to acquire that information from your extraction. Is that correct?
Yes.
I want to move on to the section that says Health Apple Health or Apple Health application, page 9. Can you tell the jury what information is within the Apple Health application?
So Apple Health is an app. It's a factory app that is on iPhone starting with iOS 8 and newer. So any phone that would have supported iOS 8 has Apple.
And is this always on?
It's always on.
Does the user of an iPhone have to do anything to turn this on initially?
No.
Is it always working in the background?
Yes.
So it's always tracking well. Refresh my memory. What is it tracking?
Tracks a user's steps, calculates distance, and it changes in elevation.
And I want to draw your attention to this portion of the report in regards to this iPhone that you were examining. What were you able to determine from the health app data in this phone?
I was able to determine some steps and some distances that were walked or ran, and changes in elevation.
So it not only gives you the activity, meaning what the person was doing, it also gives you a value of what they're doing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And how is that value measured?
So steps, your iPhone has what we call an accelerometer, a triaxial accelerometer, and it has a gyroscope. It's built in, it's always on. So when you're walking, it's detecting your steps as you walk, and then your iPhone,
And it also gives you a start and end time. Is that correct?
Correct.
So when I'm walking, if I have a phone and I'm walking, is there equipment within the phone that tracks that?
Yes.
And is that the equipment you're talking about? The accelerometer and barometer, and all those fancy words you used?
Yes.
And that tracks the steps and the meters that I travel?
Correct.
It also tracks the time and date when I traveled?
Correct.
And again, specifically, you're looking at February 13th of 2017 in this extraction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell the jury, what did you find in the health app data for February 13th of 2017?
So the first line there is an error, a mistake that I need to correct. So if you look at the end date time, February 13th, 2017, 14 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds, it should actually be 14 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
So this area right here indicates.
Yes.
And why is that messed up?
It's a typo. And you'll see a continuation of where the start starts back up again for the walking in the next line. It starts at 14 hours 8 minutes and 8 seconds.
So this should be 14 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds?
Correct.
In direct lineation with the next line underneath it. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So tell the jury what you found from the information that you viewed on the health app.
I calculated, the forensic softwares calculated the number of steps that was walked with the phone and the distance.
And it gives you the time, correct?
The time that you start walking, the time that the person stopped walking.
When you say start walking and stop walking, this is a silly question, but at those times does that mean the phone is moving?
Yes.
Time is 13 hours 31 minutes and 40 seconds. That's military time, correct?
Yes.
Can you convert that to standard time, please?
1:31 and 40 seconds p.m.
So at 1:31 and 40 seconds p.m., the phone moves 1682 steps.
Yes.
When does that movement stop?
At 2 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds or 14 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
Will you convert that to standard time, please?
2:08 and 48 seconds p.m.
Do you mind just converting that to standard time from here on out?
Yes, sir.
I don't know military time, so I want to make sure I have the times right.
Yes, sir.
So when did that movement stop?
It stopped at 2 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
Did that movement pick back up again?
Yes.
When?
At 2 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
And how far did that phone move?
414.38 meters.
And when did that stop?
At 2:18 and 48 seconds p.m.
And then pick back up again at 2:25 and 22 seconds p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, when did that end?
At 2:32 and 39 seconds p.m.
Now, this last line says, flights climbed. Can you explain that to the jury?
So that's an elevation change.
There are things in the phone that will register when you change elevation?
Yes.
And so, did the phone change elevation in this case?
Yes.
When did it change elevation?
At 2 hours 31 minutes and 22 seconds. That's the date and time.
And how much elevation did it change? What does the report say? Let's start there.
It says 2 floors.
Do you know how much distance 2 floors are?
I learned later on what that distance is in my next report.
Okay. But at the time of this report, you didn't have a calculation of what the distance was for 2 floors?
Correct.
Okay. 2:32 and 39 seconds p.m. Last movement of the phone, correct?
Correct.
In your report that you did in 2019, was there any other information within the health app data that showed movement of the phone?
No.
So from this information, what conclusion did you come to?
I concluded that the phone stopped moving at 2:32 and 39 seconds p.m. on February 13, 2017.
Had the phone moved after that, would it have registered in the health app data?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because the Apple Health app data is always on and the triaxial accelerometer, the gyroscope is always detecting movement.
What if my phone is sitting still, will it detect movement?
No.
What if my phone is on the console of my car, will it detect movement?
It could.
How could it?
If the car runs over a bump or something that would cause it to jump, bounce.
Another silly question. If the phone moves, does health app data record that movement?
Yes.
Whether the phone's dropped, bounced, walked, whatever the case may be?
Yes.
Okay. I want to move on to 2019. We've talked about Knowledge C database analysis. We've talked about it with other witnesses. Explain to the jury this section of your report.
So Knowledge C is an important database for investigations because it's logging activity that your phone's doing. Some of this is activity that you're not even aware that it's logging. So this is a database that's very volatile, the information doesn't stay there too long, and it's logging activity like something as simple as when your phone lights up, when it lights, when it dims down, when you unlock it, when it locks, very, very simple things.
2019, you were aware that Knowledge C database information existed.
Yes.
When did you become aware, in your career, that this information was available?
Since 2018, however, the science behind it wasn't fully developed at the
science behind it. Are you saying that before 2019, the extraction community didn't know about Knowledge C information?
Correct.
The program that you had to make the extraction information in readable formats, did it have areas within those programs for Knowledge C information?
Sir, I don't understand your question.
Fine. It was a horrible question. Let me re-ask it. Prior to 2019, prior to getting Great Key, what is the program that you primarily used within the Indiana State Police to extract information from phones?
It would have been the Celebrite UFED or Universal Forensic Extraction Device.
And that device and that program, Did it grab knowledge C information from the devices you were extracting?
No.
Is GridKey the first equipment/program that you had that would grab that knowledge C information?
Yes.
And it would turn that knowledge C information into readable information?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
I'll rephrase the question, Judge.
Rephrase it.
What would GridKey do with that knowledge C information once it was extracted from the phone?
GridKey's pulling it out and then you're using software to process it, to put it in human-readable form.
Now, back to your report. In this section of your report, you have a list of various things here. Can you explain what this list of things are to the jury?
From my research at the time, these are just some of the things that knowledge C logged or it could detect.
And then, what is the next part of your report that we get into?
This is a timeline that I developed utilizing knowledge C and so many other activity on Libby's phone at the time.
And when do you start your timeline?
Start my timeline at 1:38 and 49 seconds p.m. on February 13th.
And what does this timeline give the jury an idea of what information is in this timeline?
So we're talking about phone calls, when the phone was plugged in and charging, so we're getting battery power.
But you're able to go further than that, correct?
Yes.
What other things are you able to see, and that you put in this timeline?
I could see that she's or someone is utilizing different applications like Snapchat and then they've created a picture.
So you're able to get phone calls that come into that are coming into the phone during this time period?
Correct.
You're able to get whether or not the phone is plugged in and charging?
Yes.
You're able to get whether or not the user is viewing posts on various applications?
Yes.
You also have a battery life. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this timeline progresses through the day. Is that correct?
Yes.
I want to focus your attention on February 13th at 1:41 and 44 seconds p.m. What is the phone doing at that time?
There's a picture, a snap, that's posted to Snapchat.
And does that entry mean that this phone posted a picture to a Snapchat?
Yes.
Were you able to find that picture on the phone?
Yes.
Where were you able to find it?
I found it within the Snapchat application.
I want to move on. I want to move on to February 13th at 1:43 and 59 seconds p.m. Can you tell me what's going on with the phone at that point?
That's another snap or another picture from Snapchat.
And can you describe the picture that you were able to see that was posted on Snapchat?
It's a picture depicting an up-close view of Libby wearing a tie-dyed t-shirt with silkscreen print of surfers on the front. She's got a grin on her face. Abby was in the background over Libby's shoulder wearing a burgundy shirt, gray hooded jacket, and it appeared to be taken inside of an automobile. Abby's.
Now, how precise are these times that you have on this timeline?
Precise.
Where did you get those times?
These are times that are going to be logged in the knowledge C.
So it's coming right from the phone?
Yes.
I want to draw your attention to February 13th of 2017, 2:05 and 10 seconds p.m. Can you tell me what happened with the phone at that time?
This is another snap or another picture from Snapchat.
And were you able to find that picture on the phone?
Yes.
And what did that picture show?
Depicted the Monon High Trail Bridge, likely prior to somebody walking across it.
I want to draw your attention to February 13th of 2017 at 2:07 and 20 seconds p.m. What happened on the phone at that point?
That was the last time the phone was unlocked.
And what happened at 2:13 and 51 seconds p.m. on that day?
A video was recorded.
And what does the video have you had an opportunity to watch the video?
I have watched the video.
And what does the video depict?
It depicts Abby walking across a bridge and a person walking behind her.
And how long is the video?
43 seconds.
And is there anything that happens after the video stops? What is the next entry after the video stops?
Someone tried to biometric unlock the phone.
When does the video stop?
At 2 hours 14 minutes and 34 seconds.
And when does someone try to unlock the phone?
2 hours 14 minutes and 41 seconds.
And were they successful in unlocking the phone?
No.
I want to move down to 2:32 and 39 seconds p.m. What happens then?
That's the last recorded movement of the phone.
And is that information gathered from the health app data?
Yes.
Does the phone move after that?
No.
Now, you have in your report at 10:32 and 26 seconds p.m. was the last recorded data received from the iPhone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you have in here the phone's battery was likely depleted. Is that correct?
Yes.
Knowing what you know now, is that information correct?
No.
We're gonna come back to that in your next report. Want to move on to this report, and we're almost to the end here. Want to talk about the mobile analysis worksheet. The device description, self-explanatory, talks about the condition of the device when you got it. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, this page 13 of the report, what is that describing?
It shows the different hardware and software that was used to complete the analysis back in 2019.
Once you did this analysis, what did you do next?
I provided the reports to the investigators.
And again, that was in 2019. Is that correct?
Yes.
As time progresses, do your capabilities with extractions, do they change?
Extractions?
Let me back up. That was a bad question. As time progresses, our program service providers, are they continuing to update their equipment and programs?
Yes.
Why do they do that?
So software developers update their programs because it's competition, it's about money, and also what drives this is feedback and support from the digital forensic community.
And so as time goes on, do new programs, new hardware come out that allow you to extract more data from an electronic device?
Yes.
Between 2019 and 2024, do you continue to get updates on how those programs change?
Yes.
So what programs in 2019 are you using to extract data to make this report?
Celebrite and Magnet.
And between 2019 and 2024, did you get updates to those programs? Answer that first. Did you get updates to those programs?
Yes.
And what do those updates do? What's the point of those updates?
These are software updates that would allow decoding of more data from different devices, whether it's a cell phone or a computer, because applications are changing. So you may have an application like Facebook that where one day it's written in one code, but then, the next time Facebook updates the app, it may be written differently, so software developers have to constantly stay upon how programs or how applications are changed, so they can be able to parse this information and get it to whoever's using their software.
Do these updates allow you to extract more or less data from an electronic device?
It allows you to decode more information from an electronic device.
And so did that occur in this instance, that by 2024 through an updated program/software that would allow you to decode more information?
Yes.
And so what did you do?
So I updated Magnet and Celebrite and then I reprocessed the original extraction that I did in 2019 with the newly updated software.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to see what new information potentially I could decode I didn't know about. And I knew, again, I knew from experience that the digital forensic community drives the software developers, and I wanted to be able to see if there's something else that maybe I overlooked.
And did you perform a new extraction on Libby's iPhone?
No.
What did you do?
I just reprocessed the original extraction.
So the original raw data that you had from the extraction, you just reprocessed that information?
Yes.
Did you, in 2024, or sometime between 2019 and 2024, did you compare that raw data to other raw data that had been extracted from the phone?
I did. Sorry, you have to rephrase that question.
The raw data that you had in 2024 that you reprocessed, you were aware that Lieutenant Bunner had also extracted data from the phone?
I was aware.
And did you have access to that data?
I had access.
And did you compare the data that he extracted in 2017 to the data that you extracted in 2019?
No.
Did you compare it to the data that you extracted in 2000 or that you used in 2024?
Yes.
And tell me about that. What did you find?
So I took only his first extraction from 2017, the first one that he did.
The method 1 extraction?
Correct.
Okay. And what did you do with that method 1 extraction?
I reviewed through it to write my second report.
And can you expand on that a little bit? What did you do to help you write your second report?
I reviewed through the timeline that had been developed from the Celebrite extraction to help me write my report, because I knew that at some point during Lieutenant Bunner's examination later, in the weeks later, he had connected it to the cell phone network, so I knew there was more data had been added to the phone that wasn't originally on there in 2015, on February 15th.
And this data that you comprised in your second report, was it different than the data that Lieutenant Bunner gathered in 2017?
I'm sorry, you have to repeat that again.
Sure. The data that you collected to form your second report, was it different than the data that was collected by Lieutenant Bunner in 2017?
No.
Then, why the need for the new report?
I got more system information that Lieutenant Bunner didn't have.
That is the need for the new report?
Yes.
So the information's not different, you just got more of it.
Correct.
Okay. Let me back up. If that's true, were you able to compare the information that Lieutenant Bunner gathered to the information that you gathered?
Yes.
Was there any difference between the two?
No.
Were they mathematically equal?
You'll have to rephrase that question.
Let me just strike that question. Let me back up. So even though Lieutenant Bunner, you noted that Lieutenant Bunner connected the phone to the network.
Yes.
When he did that, did it change the data in the phone?
It added more information to the phone.
Did it change the data that he had previously collected?
No.
First Sergeant Cecil, I want to now go through your second report. Talk about the information that you gathered in your second report. First, I want to start off with when did you begin the analysis this second time around?
May 10th of 2024.
And when did you end it?
August 18th, 2024.
So you took nearly 3 months, or just over 3 months, to go through the information before you created this report?
Yes.
And what kind of things are you using to analyze the information that you extracted or that you gathered? Sorry.
So I'm using, these are forensic software like Celebrite and Magnet. I'm also utilizing some other open source digital forensic tools that's recognized in the digital forensic community. And then I did research. I had to go through and look at various different white papers, do research, what Apple would say regarding certain things that they've been able to confidently or comfortably provide it to the public about their device. So a lot of it was research, looking at what other researchers had done, what they had tested, because a lot of these things I can't go back and test, so I'm relying on other people's information to kind of complete this examination.
And did you find additional information? Did you find information in addition to your first report?
Yes.
And so let's focus first on page 4 of your second report. Do you have "Oh, I'm sorry"? Sorry. I got ahead of myself, Judge. I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 227. Can you identify that?
Yes.
And is this the second report that we've been referring to?
Yes.
And is your name on that report?
Yes, it is.
And when did you complete the report?
August 18, 2024.
Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 227 into evidence. State's Exhibit 227 offered.
No objection. Without objection, 227 is admitted.
And, Judge, I'd ask for permission to publish that to the jury again.
You may.
Or in addition. First Sergeant Cecil, I want to draw your attention first to page 4, and I want to go through this report in the same fashion as we did the last one and, hopefully, it'll be a little quicker. But you start with introduction, and then you identify some mistakes and misprints you made.
Yes.
Tell me about those.
So the first mistake identified was I mistakenly said that Libby's phone, in 2019, had been unlocked by Celebrite, and that's incorrect. I should say law enforcement had her passcode, so that's incorrect.
And so the statement you corrected, the phone was opened with the...
Correct.
What was the next correction?
The next correction is regarding the Apple Health data where I made the typo and it should have been 2 hours 8 minutes and 48 seconds on February 13, 2017, the end date.
And then, what is the last correction that you have there?
The last one is my premature conclusion that the last recorded activity of the iPhone was at 10:32 and 26 seconds p.m. on February 13, 2017.
I then want to move on. You then talk about Knowledge C information at the bottom of page 3 and then into page 4. Can you explain that to the jury, please?
So I go a little bit more in depth in the Knowledge C, because when I did the original examination in 2019, a lot more research is out there that we could find, so a lot more, it's been more thorough, so I'm providing some more information about what Knowledge C does, what it contains, what type of records of user activities that it's collecting, and I talk about how it's usually collecting 1 month of records, which is typically most useful for investigations and for trying to basically develop a timeline of events or trying to get a pattern of life of the person who's using the device.
And then, on page 4, what does that explain in regards to Knowledge C information?
These are just some events, it's not an exhaustive list, this is just some events that Knowledge C is tracking on a person's Apple device.
Now, you said Knowledge C information is volatile.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So what that means is some of this information can be stored for a few weeks, a few months, some of it can persist a lot longer. So it's just whenever the phone decides it wants to delete it or when new information comes in and overwrites it.
And page 5 of your report, is this the type of information that would be contained in Knowledge C databases?
Yes.
And is that the kind of information that you would consider volatile?
Yes.
And so that is that information that may be deleted as part of the Knowledge C database?
Yes.
This may be a complicated question, but is in the Knowledge C database. If you know, when a new entry is logged, is the oldest entry deleted?
It's a first in, first out.
Explain that to me.
So the first entry in, later on, at some point, that's going to be the first one that leaves, goes.
I don't see listed on this list pictures and videos from the camera roll. Are pictures and videos from the camera roll, are they included in Knowledge C information?
They could be in the sense that the camera application was being used, but the actual pictures and videos, no.
Explain that to me a little bit. Make sure I got it right.
So pictures and videos are not stored in Knowledge C. This is just tracking user activity. It could track that someone used a camera, but it's not going to track that. It's not going to save pictures and videos.
So Knowledge C would track that the camera was used, but wouldn't track what the product from the camera.
Right.
Is it true that do you lose Knowledge C information when the phone is turned on and turned off?
You could.
Pictures and videos aren't part of Knowledge C information. You testified to that, correct?
Yes.
So would those be lost as part of Knowledge C information when the phone is turned on and off?
It depends.
Explain that to me.
So if it's internet cache, it could be deleted, but if it's something that a user created, it's gonna stay there.
What would something that a user created? Give me an example of something a user created.
It'd be a picture or a video that was recorded with the phone and it's saved to the camera roll.
So pictures and videos in a camera roll, would those be user created?
Yes.
So would those be deleted as part of Knowledge C when the phone is turned?
No.
Let's move on to health app data. Is that part of Knowledge C information?
No.
Is that something that would be deleted when a phone is turned on and off as part of Knowledge C information in databases?
No.
What about let me back up. I want to focus on your report again, and I want to focus your attention. I'm gonna scroll through here. We come to the health app data on page 7 of your report. Besides the correction that you made from your 2019 report, was there any additional information that you gathered from the health app data information?
No.
And so everything you gathered in this report, was it the same as the last report?
Yes.
Was the information you gathered in this report more extensive than the last report?
Yes.
How so?
I go through and do a little research on how an iPhone is calculating steps based off of research done by various individuals around the world.
Can you give me a brief summary of what your research showed?
So in a controlled environment, steps are pretty accurate. The distance calculated by your iPhone, if it's short, it's pretty close to how far a person would.
What about the health app data when the phone is riding in a car? Did you gather information about that?
From research that was done by the Netherlands Forensic Institute, which is part of The Hague, they said that an iPhone could mistakenly interpret a car driving over a speed bump as a step, could.
In order for that to happen, from your research, what would have to happen to the phone?
The phone would have to be in the car.
And?
On.
And
just in the car.
Would it have to move in some fashion?
Well, the car would have to be moving.
But would it have to be moving?
No.
In some fashion?
No.
Okay. I want to move on to the chart that you have. It is more expansive than the one in the first report. Why is it more expansive?
I took it back a little earlier into the morning of when earlier in the day, 'cause I took it back to around almost 11 a.m. in the morning on February 13th, 2017.
Why did you do that?
Try to show a little bit of a pattern of what this phone is doing, what would be maybe considered its norm.
Now, does the health app data give you longitude and latitude or any kind of location data?
No.
Are there other applications within a phone that will give you location data?
Yes.
How is it determined which application within a phone will give you the location data?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Which applications within a phone will give you location data, meaning longitude and latitude?
Whatever application you have designated to have access to location services.
So the user of the phone has to manually turn that on for those various applications to register longitude and latitude or some kind of location data.
Right.
Specifically in this iPhone. Do you recall which applications Libby had the location? This is gonna be a bad question. Which applications within the phone had the location data turned on?
Yes.
Can you tell me which applications those were?
So 4 location services were enabled for while using the application.
And those applications are listed on the bottom of page 10 of your report. Is that correct?
Right.
And you also have a picture there in your report on page 10. What is that a picture of?
That's a picture of the enabled applications from Libby's iPhone.
Tell me a little bit about how those applications are able to register GPS location. What do they use to register that?
It's using the phone, it's connecting to the GPS network to connect to generate a GPS coordinate, or it could be utilizing cell towers, it could be utilizing Wi-Fi, so it depends on what degree of accuracy the application needs to be able to pinpoint where you are.
Let's talk about that accuracy. How accurate is the GPS location for these various applications?
For GPS, it's really good, very, very good.
That brings me to page 11 of your report. What does page 11 of your report talk about?
So this talks about the video that Libby captured with her iPhone. It's the video of Abby coming across the bridge and then the person walking behind her.
And when is this video captured?
This video's captured at 2 hours 13 minutes and 51 seconds on February 13th of 17.
And looking at your report, when the video is initiated, when the video starts, where is the GPS location?
The GPS location goes out near Delphi High School.
And is that area marked on the map within your report?
Yes.
Talk about this second picture in your report. What happens as the video records?
Okay. So first off, there is an error in that, on this page of the report, there's 2 errors.
What are the 2 errors?
The first error, at the very, very top upper right corner, you'll see where it says 14 hours 31 minutes and 55 seconds, that should be 14 hours 13 minutes and 55 seconds, so I just flipped the 1 and the 3.
Is that typo on your part?
Yes.
Okay. So it should say, approximately 4 seconds later, after the video starts
13:55.
Okay.
And then
What was the other correction?
the other one would be in the second part of the table there, it should read 14 hours 13 minutes and 55 seconds.
Again, a typo on your part?
Yes.
So explain to the jury the GPS location on the video when it starts. You've testified to that. Explain what happens to the GPS location as the video progresses.
So when the video starts, the GPS, with the metadata, the lat and long that's embedded into it, immediately goes out to where right around the near Delphi High School. Within 4 seconds, it comes back and it's on the trail and it has a 30-meter horizontal degree of accuracy within a circle, so it brings it back to the trail. So what's happening is when the camera is first being used, it's using something, it's low accuracy, so it's not wanting to use a whole lot of battery power. This is what Apple encourages its application developers to do, try not to use a whole lot of battery power, because we want our customers to be able to enjoy the product. So when it's recording a video, it initially goes OUT, likely capturing what's the cell phone tower data to try to pinpoint where it is. There's no Wi-Fi out there, to my knowledge, out there on the trail, we're out in the middle of the woods, so it's utilizing the cell towers to kind of triangulate, determine where it is. But as the video's recording, it's like it actually utilizes the satellites to provide a more accurate location of where the video really is, and utilizing the satellites causes it to use a little more power.
So when the video starts, this is the long and longitude and latitude that it produces?
Longitude, latitude, and the elevation.
Does it give you a range of accuracy when the video first starts?
No.
And then, within 4 seconds, the long and latitude changes?
Yes.
And does it give you a range of accuracy when it changes?
Yes.
Well, how do you know the girls didn't just go from here to here in 4?
I would think that would be kind of impossible.
What's the distance between here and here?
I do not know.
Is it more than a mile?
I don't know.
You also were able to view the video that was found on the phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
What you viewed on the video, does it match the long and lat of what was found?
It puts it in the area.
Of the area of the long and lat of the 4 seconds that the video's running?
Yes.
I want to move on to your report. And in your report, I want to move on to the Snapchat application. Did you have an opportunity to examine the information within Snapchat on your second report?
I did.
And can you tell me what you found?
So this is a database that it's utilized for cataloging, inaudible, to the satellites, basically GPS information, and I was able to attribute that data to someone utilizing Snapchat on the phone.
And did Libby have the location data on Snapchat turned on?
She did.
And what does this chart at the bottom of page 12/start of page 13? What?
These show the lat and long of when Snapchat's being used, when it's in the foreground of the phone, and it's giving you a horizontal precision of 5 meters, so it's not exactly where the phone was or where Libby or Abby were, they're within a 5-meter circle.
Now, why doesn't the longitude and latitude just run? She's got it turned on in Snapchat. Why doesn't it just run consistently?
'Cause it would run.
Continuously?
It would run the battery down and, again, Apple doesn't want its developers running the battery down like that unless it's for something like for mapping.
And so is it fair to say from your report, Snapchat only logs the long and lat at what times?
At intervals when the application's being used.
She has to have the application open.
Yes.
Okay. I want to move on to the battery power part of your report, the bottom of page 14. Your first report, you said the phone died or lost power around 10 p.m. on the 13th. What did you find in your second analysis?
The battery of an iPhone is very complex and the operating system of the iPhone has some power management where, once it gets below 20%, it does a lot of throttling, because it's trying to stay connected to the network, it's trying to do things too so the user can still try to use the device. So once it gets around 20%, you'll get an alert, a notification on your phone that.
And so you might have said this and I might have missed it. You said it doesn't the low battery. It doesn't affect or does it affect the health app tracking data?
No, it doesn't.
So if you get the low battery, is your health app gonna shut off and say, okay, we're not tracking data anymore, 'cause that takes too much power? Is that gonna happen?
No.
Initially, you said the phone shut off around 10 o'clock on the 13th. With this new analysis, what were you able to determine?
I believe the phone at least stayed on past up until or after around 4:30 in the morning on February 14th.
And how did you come to the conclusion?
So I'm looking at other data that is going on the phone. The phone received a bunch of text messages right around 4:30 in the morning on February 14th, a bunch of SMS messages.
And does the phone have to be on to receive those?
Yes.
Did you see any indication that the phone was turned off between the time the video was taken on February 13th and the time those SMS messages came in at 4:30 a.m. on the 14th?
No.
From the time that the movement stopped at 2:32 p.m. until the time the text messages came in at 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, did you gather any information to show that the phone turned off?
No.
From the time the phone stopped moving at 2:32 p.m. on February 13th to 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, did I say that right? The 13th to 14th? Was there any movement tracked in the phone?
No.
The last part of your report, tell the jury what the last part of your report displays.
This is another timeline where I'm focusing on events after the phone had stopped moving.
Now, does this timeline cover all the events that are covered in the timeline in the first report?
A few of those, a few.
Where does this timeline start?
This one starts at 2:33 p.m. on February 13th.
Where did your last timeline start for your first report?
Right around I think it started at 1:38 and 49 seconds p.m.
Your timeline in your first report starts before this one?
Yes.
And there is some overlap?
Yes.
And this report or this timeline, what does it display in addition to the timeline in your first report?
So besides the screens lighting up and dimming down and the battery power, I actually add some information about SMS messages, phone calls it receives, FaceTime, or FaceTime video calls that the phone receives.
And so during this time, is the phone receiving FaceTime calls?
Yes.
Is the phone receiving phone calls?
Yes.
What about SMS messages?
Yes.
What is an SMS message?
Short message service, so this is gonna be a message that would go over the cellular network, as opposed to the data side, the internet side.
And so I want to draw your attention to February 13th, 2106. Are you there in your report?
2106 Universal Time Coordinated?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you tell me what can you convert the time for me, please?
So that would be 4:06 p.m. on February 13th.
And what happens in the phone at 4:06 and 46 seconds p.m. on the 13th?
It receives a SMS message.
From who?
From Becky Marchand Patty.
And what does the message say?
You need to call me now, and multiple exclamation points.
And that's at 4:06 p.m. on the 13th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there additional calls and SMS messages that come in after that?
Yes.
In the following pages of your report, did it document those phone calls and SMS messages?
It does.
Does it give you the time and the date of when those phone calls and messages came into the phone?
Yes.
Does it also give you the phone number of who's calling or sending those messages?
Yes.
And when it has a name like Tate or like Becky Marchand Patty, where is the phone collecting that name from, or how is the phone getting that name?
It's pulling that from a database, so it'd be the call history database.
And if there's a name saved in there, would that mean that the user has that phone number saved under that name in their phone?
Correct.
And do these phone calls and messages progress into February 14th?
The messages do.
And then, there are several messages that come in at 4:33 a.m. on the 14th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you explain why there's a lull, meaning why there's messages coming in, and then there's a big gap of time, and then, at 4:33 a.m., I think there's 15 to 20 different messages that all come in at once. Can you explain that?
Based on the data I have here, I don't know.
I want to move down to the end of the chart in your report, and it's gonna be page 25 of your report. Drawing your attention to February 14th at 4:34 a.m., is that the last activity that you see for your report that occurs on February 14th?
Last activity that the operating system's doing, yes.
What happens after that?
I'm not sure.
At some point, when it says the iPhone booted up, what does that mean?
That's the iPhone powering on.
And when does that happen?
It happens at 3:06 p.m. on February 15th.
And do you have an explanation of why the phone was turning on at that date and time?
Sometime between 4:34 a.m. on February 14th and that time is it lost power.
And do you know how it gained power on February 15th of 2017?
This would be Lieutenant Brian Bunner charging it to prepare it for an examination.
So at some point after 4:33 a.m. on the 14th, it loses power and did not turn back on until Lieutenant Bunner has the phone. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
Judge, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Do we need a break or anything? Do you guys need a break? Yes? All right. We'll go ahead and take a quick break between direct and cross. While you're outside the courtroom, please keep your minds open. Please don't form any opinions or anything about anything. You can talk about the evidence, but please only do that if you're all present in the room at the same time, and then please don't deliberate. Gentlemen.
All rise.
Jury out at 3:23 p.m.
All right. Let's take until about 3:40. And if folks.
Off record at 3:24 p.m. On record at 3:46 p.m.
Okay. Ms. Auger, are you ready? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Okay.
Judge, could I ask the court permission for leave to ask a few omitted questions before Ms. Auger goes? I have 4 admitted questions, and I wanted to ask leave to request that prior to the jury coming in.
Okay. Are you okay with that? We'll just push you back just a little bit. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
All rise.
Jury in at 3:48 p.m.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Mr. McClelland, you indicated before the jury came and you had a couple of omitted questions that you would like permission to ask.
Yes, Your Honor, if the court would allow me to ask those questions at this time.
You may.
First Sergeant Cecil, I forgot to clear up a few things with you, and I want to take that opportunity and do that now. Questions I said I would come back to, and that I just omitted. And so I'm gonna draw your attention to your first report, and I'm gonna show you and hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 225. And I'm gonna draw your attention to page 10 of that report. And there's a portion of that report I wanted to clear up for the jury cause it may be confusing. I want to draw your attention to February 13th of 2017 at 14:07 and 10 seconds p.m. 2:07. Are you there in your report?
Yes.
What I forgot to ask you, are there 2 asterisks by those 2 entries in that report? And I never got to ask you, what do those asterisks mean?
So if you go to page 11, I indicate what those asterisks mean in my report.
And can you tell the jury what they mean?
So I'm referring to a uploaded still image to Snapchat depicting Abby walking across the Monon High Bridge, that I didn't find it in the Snapchat database. I didn't find that picture on her device.
Any explanation of why you didn't find that picture on her device, but you found the other pictures?
I don't know.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 226. Can you identify that, please?
This is a picture that I found on the internet that depicts what I'm referencing.
Now, the date and time on that. Was that on there when you found it or?
It was on there when I found it on the internet.
And that time and date coincide. Does that time and date coincide with the entry on your report?
That's what I'm relating it to.
Okay. And do you believe this is a picture that was posted on Snapchat at that time?
I believe it is.
Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 226. State's Exhibit 226 offered.
No objection. All right. Without objection, 226 is admitted.
And would ask to publish that to the jury quickly, please, Judge.
You may. Go ahead.
The next clarification, First Sergeant Cecil, I want to clear up for the jury is, you and I, in your first report, talked about whether or not you were able to find a measurement for the information in the health application as it applies to the elevation change. Do you recall talking about that in your first report?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 227 and draw.
Yes.
Can you tell the jury that, please?
So this is from Celebrite. Celebrite says that a flight of stairs is counted as approximately 10 feet or 3 meters of elevation gain, so they're saying it's approximately 16 steps.
And so in this case, with 2 floors being traveled, approximately 20 feet. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then I want to finally, the last area I want to clear up, I want to draw the attention to the next page of that report, page 8, and this is a table of the health app data that you gathered that's more extensive, as opposed to your first report. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I meant to draw your attention to February 13th, 2017, the entry that begins at 12:01 p.m. Are you there?
Yes.
And it looks like after that entry, when does the next entry start?
At 1:31 and 40 seconds p.m.
So what does that mean? From 12:01 to 1:31, is the phone moving during that time?
No.
And then after 1:31, it begins to move again. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Auger. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. With permission? Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
Ms. Auger, do you want these up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Alrighty. First, Sergeant Cecil, I want to follow up first on this Exhibit 226.
Yes.
You found this on the internet?
Yes.
Where?
I believe I found it from Google.
Do you remember what you searched to find it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you put it in your report as the asterisks have it at 2:07, is that right?
Yes.
All right. And the time here just said 7 hours ago, right?
Yes.
How do you arrive at 2:07?
'Cause it's imprinted on that picture.
Which one?
The one in your left.
So this wasn't on the original picture, February 13th, 2:07, right?
Right.
The original picture says, in fact, I'm gonna show you defendant's exhibit.
That's the original picture, right? I believe so.
Okay. Thank you. And there's no date or timestamp on the original picture, correct?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
So you have no idea who put February 13th, 2:07 on there, do you?
No.
Just someone out in the wide web.
Yes.
All right. Now, how precise is 7 hours ago?
It depends.
Do you have any idea?
No.
All right. And you don't know when this picture was actually posted?
No.
Now, Libby posted a photo on Snapchat on February 13th, 2017, at 1:40, correct?
Yes.
And again at 1:41?
Check with my
Sure.
report. 141, yes.
Again at 1:43?
Yes.
And 2:05?
Yes.
Now, the picture she posted at 1:40 you were able to find in the Snapchat cache?
Yes.
And snaps, that's a lot of S's. Snapchat cache is just a cache of information that is associated with Snapchat on the phone, is that right?
Yes.
Probably not a great way to say it, but kind of a bag of information?
Yes.
All right. And so the picture that she posted at 1:40 was contained in the Snapchat cache?
Yes.
And the picture she posted at 1:41 you found in a Snapchat cache?
Yes.
And the picture she posted at 1:43 you found in a Snapchat cache?
Yes.
And the picture she posted at 2:05 you found in a Snapchat cache?
Yes.
But you didn't find the one at 2:07?
Correct.
Nor is it on her camera roll.
Correct.
Could someone else have posted it from her account from a different device?
Could have.
Okay. And these are the same clothes Abby was wearing in the video recorded on the phone at 2:13 p.m. on the 13th?
Yes.
So it appears to be the same time and place as February 13th?
Yes.
But not on her phone?
Correct.
Now, you said that it was likely uploaded, the still image was likely uploaded to Snapchat, correct?
Correct.
All right. But in order to be uploaded, it would have been on her phone.
Correct.
Now, the data you stay very busy, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately. And by unfortunately, there's a lot of crimes. And in investigating those crimes, cell phone data is routinely used?
Yes.
And it has been for over 20 years routinely used in criminal investigations?
Yes.
Okay. And the phone, the data that you find, obtain in extractions and examinations is used in investigations and trials because it's accurate?
Yes.
And it's reliable?
Yes.
And that includes the Apple Health data?
Yes.
And that includes the data from the Knowledge C database?
Yes.
Now, you listed some things in I think your second report that identify the different categories contained in the Knowledge C database.
Yes.
Those aren't everything, Con. Those aren't all the categories contained in Knowledge C, right?
Right.
And there's also an encrypted cache database.
I'm not following you.
All right. Is there a database or set of files contained in Knowledge C that are entitled encrypted cache?
I'm not aware of encrypted cache.
Okay. Now, Celebrite you referred to in your direct examination, did I call it the UFED reader, but you have a better name for it, Universal Digital.
Universal Forensic Extraction Device.
Okay, Universal Forensic Extraction Device, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that's been around since 2007?
Yes.
And that allows you to get a physical extraction from the phone, correct?
No.
No? All right.
It could.
Could, okay. And it's had that capability since before 2017, right?
Depending on the make and model of the phone.
Okay. Now, and there are different levels of extractions that you can obtain from a phone, correct?
Yes.
So there's a logical extraction?
Yes.
Okay. And that's kind of the over-the-hood data, if you will, the what if I have my phone and I'm using it, that's the data that I, as a user, can see on my phone?
Correct.
And then, you can do an advanced logical extraction?
Yes.
What is that?
That's a little bit more than a logical. Typically, it's associated with like an iPhone, so it'd be the backup.
And you can get a full file system extraction, right?
Yes.
And that includes kind of the under-the-hood data?
Yes.
Those are the system files and the things like Knowledge C?
Yes.
Okay. And there are OT her logs, there's a revision B, container management, power log, lots of different kind of source files and system files that you can see with the full file system extraction?
Yes.
And as Apple develops these products, they don't tell you, as digital forensic analysts, what's in there and how to get it.
Correct.
You guys, as a general field there, and software engineers, cell phone engineers, all kinds of people who kind of work through and try to figure out what's on there and decipher it?
Correct.
And so that's why it took people a while to figure out about the Knowledge C database, right?
Right.
Even though it was there, people didn't really know about it?
Right.
Until 2016?
Maybe 2016.
Now, one of the logs that is recorded in kind of the under-the-hood data is the power-off log.
I don't understand your question.
There's a power-off log, right?
There's a shutdown log.
Okay. There's also, would you agree with the premise that a lot of data in phones are contained in several different spots on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. And so there might the power-off log, what did you call it?
Shutdown log.
Shutdown log? All right. How long does the shutdown log keep information?
From what I gather, it's volatile, so every time you would restart the phone and shut it down, it's gonna change it.
It overwrites the data?
Yes.
All right. And so when Lieutenant Bunner charged the phone on the 1/5 and then later powered it down, that wiped out the shutdown log, right?
It would reset it.
Reset it. But what it did was now we don't have access to when the phone was shut down on the 14th, right?
Right.
Okay. And so the jury will never have that information?
Right.
Now, you said, I'm gonna switch gears and talk about SMS messages and iMessages. So two users of the phone can communicate in different ways via cell phones?
Yes.
And if one person has an iPhone and person B has an iPhone, they can use what's called iMessaging?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what iMessaging is?
iMessage is something that's proprietary to Apple. It's their encrypted messaging service, so two iPhone users can chat back and forth in an encrypted mode.
And people, if let's say user A has an iPhone and user B has an Android, how, if I want to send a message between, that's communicated via an SMS?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us what an SMS message is?
Short message service. So SMS does not need the internet, it utilizes the cellular network to communicate across the network.
And so those are delivered differently, is that fair?
Yes.
And isn't it true you said in your direct that during this time, and I believe you were talking after 4:06 p.m. on the 13th?
Okay.
You there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. During this time, the phone continued to receive calls and SMS messages throughout the night. You recall testifying to that?
Yes.
Okay. But the Libby's iPhone received 0 SMS messages between 4:06 p.m. on the 13th and 4:33 a.m. on the 14th.
It received iMessages.
But that wasn't my question. My question was, between 4:06 p.m. on the 13th and 4:33 a.m. on the 14th, it received 0 SMS messages.
You're correct.
And SMS messages need the tower to be transmitted, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at 4:33 a.m. on February 14, 2017, Libby's cell phone received 15 SMS messages.
Approximately 15.
And you don't know why?
I do not know why.
Now, the phone did get iMessages throughout the night, right?
It received some, yes.
Some, okay. And if I am, let's say if I'm in my office and I don't have cell service and I'm there for 10 hours and I walk out of the building and, suddenly, I get service, I get a bunch of mess, my phone starts ding, 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 ding. And all those messages come through on my phone. Have you had that happen?
Yes.
Now, when that happens, the SMS messages that are delivered via the tower are timestamped on the time my phone receives them, correct?
Yes.
But the iMessages are timestamped as of the time they're sent.
Yes.
So even though the phone is receiving iMessages from 4:06 p.m. on the 13th until 4:13 to 4:33 a.m. on the 14th, that doesn't mean that that phone has tower connection, correct?
Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Sure. So even though those iMessages are timestamped between 4:06 p.m. on the 13th and 4:33 a.m. on the 14th, that doesn't mean that the phone received them at the time they're timestamped?
Correct, that could be correct.
And even though they're timestamped throughout that period, they're still received at 4:33 a.m. on the 14th?
Yes.
Now, First Sergeant Cecil, I think I might have confused you earlier, and that's my fault. We were talking about the encrypted cache.
Yes.
And you said you did not know about that.
Yes.
There is a cache_encrypted b.db, correct?
I'm not familiar with what you're asking, ma'am.
Okay. Well, do you recall giving a deposition on September 12th of this?
Yes.
Right back there in the jury room?
Yes.
Okay. And I asked you questions?
Yes.
And you answered those questions?
Yes.
And we went through a lot of the different logs and databases and files saved on Knowledge C.
Yes.
You recall that?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna show you your deposition and I don't know where you want to start, but I'm gonna definitely point your attention to page 21, lines 18 to 20, and I can give you the pages before that to get context.
Okay.
When you've had a chance to review that and refresh your recollection, just let me know.
Okay.
All right. And in your answer, you were telling me about the encrypted cache.
As it relates to cell tower.
Okay. But that's a database that's contained in Knowledge C, right?
I don't believe so.
All right. Is it, but encrypted cache is on the phone?
It's a cache that Celebrite is parsing, but here I'm if you read the entire sentence, if I may.
Sure.
It says, there's once that's logging, says it's got cell towers, this would be under cache_encrypted b.db. I'm just reading something that Celebrite's parsing as part of my deposition. You were asking me a list of databases that potentially I would have looked at or Celebrite would have looked at.
Okay. And can we agree that encrypted cache B is a database that exists on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And that database contains information?
Yes.
Sir, in working on this case, you used all the information from Lieutenant Bunner's report, the magnet information you were able to obtain, the gray key, the Celebrite, all of those extractions. You took all of that information and you prepared a very detailed and color-coded timeline.
Which report are you referring to regarding Lieutenant Bunner?
Well, whatever one you looked at.
Okay. So you're talking about the 2015 report?
No.
Excuse me, 2017 report, the February 15th, 2017, report.
Okay.
Okay.
There were 3 reports in
Right.
2017, right?
Right. But I always want to make sure we're talking about the right one.
Sure. And you took all that information and you made a timeline?
Yes.
And I'm gonna show you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit P, as in Paul. Is now, your timeline was about that big, if I printed it out, do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so I distilled it down into something a little bit easier, from the February 13th, the first entry, until the ND on February 15th.
Yes.
And is that a true and accurate portion of the timeline that you created?
If this is previously what I looked at that you had given the prosecution, then yes.
Okay. And are all of the entries on that timeline that you created true and accurate?
Yes.
And they're reliable?
Yes.
Anything that we need to correct or change, edit, modify on that?
Not that I know of right now, no.
Move to admit Exhibit P, states Exhibit P offered.
No objection, Judge.
All right. Without objection, P is admitted. States Exhibit P admitted. Sir, I'm gonna switch gears again. You talked about whether, in your direct examination, whether the phone would track movement if it were in the car and moving. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And there, the way the technology works with cell phones, people are still researching, studying, conducting experiments, trying to figure out what all this means and how it's recorded in the phone. Is that fair?
I would agree.
And you found some things and you weren't sure about them, right? In your examinations, there were some things you weren't sure about.
Like?
Well, steps climbed.
Yes.
Okay. And so you went and looked at that and you found out that each flight Apple defines as 3 meters or 10 feet?
Yes.
And then, you also did a little research about movement?
Yes.
And you quoted, and you said in your direct that if the phone is in a car and driving, it might record movement if it hits a bump?
Yes.
The big word there is might, right?
Right.
We don't know whether it does or doesn't.
Correct.
And the research that you cite says, first of all, it's a preliminary research report, correct?
Correct.
Right. And it says an iPhone sometimes mistakenly interprets a car driving over speed bumps as user steps. You recall that?
Yes.
Speed bumps?
Yes.
It doesn't talk about other potholes or anything like that, it specifically says speed bumps?
Yes.
And it says sometimes?
Yes.
Which means sometimes it doesn't?
Correct.
When you did your examination in 2019, one of the things that, and a way that Gray Key is helpful is it can recover deleted files?
Yes.
And, in fact, Gray Key did recover some deleted files, correct?
Yes.
And there were some files on Libby's iPhone that had been deleted?
Yes.
And you were able to recover those with Gray Key?
Some of those, yes.
Okay. Now, you talked about Lieutenant Bunner, that he hooked up the phone, or connected the phone is probably a better term, on February 23, 2017, to a network. Is that correct?
I know he connected it to a network. I don't know when he connected it.
All right. And that's something that, as a digital forensics analyst, you really don't want to do, right?
Typically not.
Okay. Because you can get, if you're trying to get the information from the cloud, you would get a warrant for that?
Judge, I guess I'm gonna object to outside the scope. I'm not sure that I understand the relevance of asking whether or not he needed to get a warrant for information on the cloud.
Well, it's relevant because he brought it up and he said you shouldn't do that, and so I'm trying to explore that a little bit. And how do you respond to it being outside the scope? Well, he talked about it in direct, that Sergeant or Lieutenant Bunner, the phone connected to the network and information was downloaded onto the phone when Bunner did that. Overruled.
I'm sorry, you have to ask your question again.
I know, I get it. Give me one moment, let me refocus. There are other ways you can get information from cloud storage other than hooking the phone.
Correct.
And as a digital forensics analyst, the first time you plug the phone in, you want to keep going and do all of the extractions and get all of the data you can that first time, right?
Yes.
Because every time you plug it in, every time you do something else, you're overriding data and you're losing data?
Potentially, yes.
And you're also losing data over time, right?
Yes.
So when you wait from February until September to October to 2019 to 2024, data's coming off that phone?
When it's powered on?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, would you agree with me that it's sometimes helpful to have a second set of eyes review data?
Yes.
And in 2019, the FBI requested the full file extract ION from the state police?
Yes.
And you asked Lieutenant Holman if you could provide the data to the FBI?
Yes.
And sometimes, different agencies have different resources?
Yes.
That's why, in 2017, the phone was sent to Customs or Homeland Security?
Correct.
And so knowing that sometimes different agencies have different capabilities, knowing that the FBI requested the extraction, what did you do to follow up with them?
I did not.
Now, First Sergeant Cecil, you also did some extractions on Richard Allen's devices?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you performed extractions on them?
Yes.
And there's nothing on any of those devices that ties Richard Allen to Libby?
Correct.
And there's nothing on those devices that ties Richard Allen to Abby?
Correct.
There's nothing on those devices that ties Richard Allen to the murder of Abby?
Correct.
And there's nothing on those devices that ties Richard Allen to the murder of Libby?
Correct.
I have nothing further. Thank you. Mr. McClelland.
Thank you, Judge. The data that is potentially lost when the phone is turned on or turned on and turned off, is that only data within the Knowledge C databases?
No.
In this case, when you compared your extraction to Lieutenant Butter's extraction, nothing was lost between those two extractions. Is that correct?
You'll have to rephrase that.
Earlier, you testified that the information you gathered from your extraction matched what Lieutenant Bunner extracted. Am I saying that correctly?
The user-created content matched.
What is the user-created content would be photos, videos, health app data, that kind of content.
Photos, videos, messages, calls.
So none of that data was lost?
Right.
And you know, from the data that you did collect, that the phone wasn't shut down until sometime after 4:33 a.m. on February 14th?
Correct.
And you also know from the data that you collected that after 2:32 p.m. on February 13th, the phone doesn't move again until it powers down. There's no other. Let me rephrase that. You know, at 2:32 p.m., the phone stops moving.
Correct.
How many devices from Richard Allen's house did you analyze?
May I refer to my?
Would referring to your report help refresh your recollection as to how many devices you analyzed that were collected from Richard Allen's house?
Yes.
And do you have your report in front of you?
I do have both of them.
And was that report made close in time to your analysis of those devices?
Yes.
Judge, I would ask permission for the first sergeant to take a look at his report to refresh his recollection.
You may.
Approximately 23 devices.
And do you know, from reviewing your report, let me back up. When you analyzed those devices, In your reports, do you note the date those devices were released to the public?
You'll have to rephrase that.
Sure. When you analyze a device, do you note in your report when that device, say it's an iPhone 6, when those devices are released to the public, meaning what year and sometimes month they're released to the public?
Yes.
And so when you analyze a device, you can say, this device came out in October of 2024.
Correct.
And did you do that with all of Richard Allen's devices?
With all his cell phones.
And so you were able to get where you were able to, well, let me back up. And at some point in the investigation, you became aware that Richard Allen had a cell phone in 2017. Is that correct?
Yes.
And were you made privy to the identification number on that cell phone?
I was told of I think it was an MEID.
And what is an MEID?
Mobile Equipment Identifier.
And what is that used for?
That's a serial number for a mobile device.
Does each mobile device have a different MEID?
It can have a MEID or an IMEID, IMEI.
So is there any cell phone that's gonna have the same MEID as my cell phone?
No.
And so it's a unique number to identify a cell phone. Is that fair?
Correct.
Once you have that MEID of the cell phone that Richard Allen had in 2017, did you compare it to the list of devices that you analyzed from his house?
Yes.
Out of the devices that you analyzed at his house, did you analyze the phone from 2017 that had that what was the number? What was it again?
MEID.
The MEID number?
No.
So the phone that he had in 2017 wasn't found in his house, and wasn't a phone that you analyzed?
Correct.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger. Yes. First Sergeant Cecil, when did you get these devices of Mr. Allen's to analyze?
May I refer to my report?
Sure.
Looks like I received them on November 8th of 2022.
So my math skills aren't the best 5.5 years after the murders of Abby and Libby?
Yes.
People generally don't use their cell phones for.
Objection, Judge. That calls for speculation.
Sustained. Now, you said after 2:32 p.m. the phone stops moving.
Yes.
But you don't really know that, right?
I only know what the Apple Health data tells me.
Okay. And the Apple Health data records steps?
Yes.
And so if the phone is in a car, it may not be reporting movement?
Correct.
So just because the phone doesn't record steps doesn't mean the phone's not moving.
Correct.
Nothing further. All right. Does anybody on the jury have any questions for First Sergeant Cecil?
Sidebar conference conducted.
How did you determine Mr. Allen had no connection with Abby and Libby and murder from the phone data?
I'm okay with that. I was gonna recall him because of what we talked about inaudible.
So will you be recalling him back up?
Well, we may not have to now. I'm okay with it.
Any objection? Nope.
Well, we've got to talk about something. If we're gonna go down this road and the defense is gonna open the door to this, there is information on one of the devices. Like he searched, there was a Google search.
Oh.
And so if we're gonna open this door about there's no connection, I just want to make you aware of it.
Well, and that's way after.
I'm just...
Okay.
I just have concerns. That's not we can talk about the sketches and opening the door. I'm gonna ask to bring it up, I guess is my opinion. So anyways.
On the first report, on February 13, 17 at 2:05 p.m., the the photo depicting Moan and High Bridge with no one depicted in the still image. Did you ever locate or print this photo?
I'm fine with that.
I thought that was a photo of the bridge with no one on it.
You have it, inaudible.
I thought we did it in one.
Was one that one of the girls took?
That's what I thought.
Was what?
Weird, it's a weird.
What's it look like?
It looked like it was, like, filtered.
Kind of black and white?
Yeah, black and white, that one.
Or sepia or?
Yeah.
Is that the photo that?
I don't know.
Can you read that again?
And that's the inaudible photo.
February 14, 2:05, the photo depicting the Moan and High Bridge with no one depicted in the image. Did you ever locate or print this photo?
On her selfie home? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the question.
Okay. What are all the blank spaces under the events section on the timeline in your first report?
That's a good one. I'm okay with it.
How does the P-hone receive iMessages, FaceTime calls, telephones calls, but no SMS messages after February 13, at 4:06 p.m., and before 4:33 a.m. on February 14 without a signal via cell tower or Wi-Fi connection?
I'm good with that.
Have you ever checked to see if AT&T had any cell tower issues between 4:06 p.m. February 13 and 4:33 a.m. February 14?
I'm okay with the question.
Are you aware if Snapchat saves photos not uploaded to the story?
I'm okay with the question.
Do the pictures that get sent via Snapchat get saved?
I'm okay with that.
Are you having any objection to these?
No.
Okay.
You know me, that's.
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, sorry.
Can iMessages be sent via cellular service?
I'm fine with that question.
How much data would be lost if the phone has been off and it stores a month of records? For example, if the phone is shut off February 15 after method 1, then on off February 21, then in 2019. That doesn't make sense, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I'm okay with the question, but I don't think I even understand it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay if you ask it that way and see what he says.
Well, I'm just gonna leave off the for example.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Leave off what?
Leave off the for example, all of that. That doesn't make.
Okay.
I mean, the question is, how much data would be lost if the phone's been off and it stores a month of records?
Okay. Marv McClelland, yep. And what was the for example?
For example, the phone is shut off February 15 after method 1. I don't know what that means, Mr. McClelland, then on off on February 21.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Is the cumulative data of a month in terms of total days or consecutive 30 days from last power on and off?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Did method 1 extraction garnish knowledge C data even though at the time the knowledge didn't? There's no end to it. There's no finish, it just says, did the method 1 extraction garnish knowledge C data even though, at the time, the knowledge didn't?
I'm okay with the first half. Just take off the even though. It's an incomplete though, I suppose.
It's just an incomplete thought.
Even though, oh, yeah, it's.
So just keep it out. 'Cause I think it's completed without, assuming that's what it means, but it's kind of confusing. Can Snapchat videos and photos be deleted in knowledge C data with app usage?
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Could a picture not be added to the Snap cache based on battery life?
Okay with that.
Yeah.
Could SNAP cache pictures not exist depending on the way it was posed? Story versus.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. How long does the iPhone 6s need to register floors climbed?
How long does the app is the?
How long does the iPhone 6s need to register floors climbed?
I'm okay with the question, but I don't understand it.
I don't either.
I don't know.
So if we don't understand it, should it not be asked?
Probably.
Okay. So,
Probably correct, I mean.
does the data from the iPhone 6s tell us a start and end time for the 2 floors climbed?
Yeah.
It does, but that's an okay question.
It does, but what?
It does. I'm okay with the question.
Oh, okay.
Now, 2.
What happened to the Apple Health app data between 2 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds and 2 hours 25 minutes and 22 seconds? Is there a gap there?
It doesn't. It says like when it started and when it stopped, and then it started again.
In which report is it? In case he asks me, which report would that be?
2.
Report 2.
Well, it's in both of them.
It's in both of them.
Both of them, okay. So he would know.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened to the Apple Health app data between 2 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds and 2 hours 25 minutes and 22 seconds?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Lots of questions.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Sergeant, in your first report, the photo depicting the Monon High Bridge with no one depicted in the still image, at February 13, 17, at 2:05 p.m., let you get there.
What was the time again, Your Honor?
2:05 p.m. February 13, 2017.
Yes.
Okay. So the photo depicting the Monon High Bridge with no one depicted in the still image, did you ever locate or print this photo?
I did not.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland? Mr. McClelland, no, Your Honor. Ms. Auger?
No.
And in the first report, what are all the blank spaces under the event section on the timeline in your first report?
Those blank sections have to do with the battery, so I'm keeping track of the battery, trying to segregate it from other things that's going on, so that's why they're empty fields. I just kind of colored them in.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
Yes. First Sergeant Cecil. So in those gray spots, are you using them to denote, separate the battery life usage from the other information?
Yes.
So you're not covering up information you found?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing else, Judge.
Ms. Auger?
Your Honor, can I ask an omitted question about the first question?
Sure.
Thank you. Sergeant Cecil, did I hear you right that you testified you did not see the picture posted at 2:05?
No. I saw it. I didn't print it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sergeant, how does the phone receive iMessages, FaceTime calls, and telephone calls, but no SMS messages after 4:06 p.m. on February 13th, and before 4:33 a.m. on February 14th without a signal via CELL tower or Wi-Fi connection?
I don't have an answer.
Okay. Any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Did you ever check to see if AT&T had any cell tower issues between 4:06 p.m. on February 13th and 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, 2017?
No.
Mr. McClelland?
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Auger?
Yes. That's not something you would have done, is that right?
Correct, ma'am.
That's something you would have other teams of investigators look at?
Correct.
Thank you. Are you aware if Snapchat saves photos not updated to the story?
They don't.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Yes. But you would expect a photo that was uploaded to Snapchat to be saved on the phone?
Correct.
Anything else?
No. Thank you.
Do the pictures that get sent via Snapchat, not on a story, but to a friend, do those get saved anywhere?
That I don't know.
Okay. Mr. McClelland.
If the photos, I guess I'm trying to get this clear in my mind. First Sergeant. If the photos are uploaded to the story, do you know, are they saved to the phone?
That I don't know.
As opposed if they're sent to a friend via the other Snapchat avenue, not the story, do you know if those are saved to the phone?
They could be cache, but I'm speculating here.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Well, some photos are saved in the Snapchat cache, correct?
Correct.
Because at least 3 from February 13th were saved in that cache?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Can iMessages be sent via cellular service?
Yes.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Yes. While they're sent through the cell towers, they're time-stamped as of the time they're sent and not the time they're received?
They're converted into an SMS if it's actually going through a tower versus utilizing the internet, it will be an SMS.
Okay. Thank you.
How much data would be lost if the phone has been off and it stores a month of records?
I don't have an answer, I don't know.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
No questions.
Is the cumulative data of a month in terms of total days or consecutive 30 days from the last power on or off?
I don't know.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Auger.
No questions.
Did the method to extraction garnish knowledge C data?
No.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions.
Ms. Auger.
No questions.
Could Snapchat videos or photos be deleted in knowledge C data with app usage?
I'm trying to understand the question. Could you repeat that again?
Could Snapchat videos or photos be deleted in knowledge C data with app usage?
I'm not following the question. I'm not understanding the question, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. McClelland.
No, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Snapchat photos are saved in the Snapchat cache?
Correct.
Not in Knowledge C?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Could a picture not be added to the Snap cache based on battery life?
I don't believe battery life would cause a problem, Your Honor.
Any follow-up?
Is it possible for a Snapchat picture to not be added to the Snapchat cache? Or is it possible for a picture not to be saved in Snapchat cache?
I don't know.
Okay. No other questions, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Auger.
The Snapchat cache saves pictures because of the inner workings on the phone and not because of any user activity?
It could be both.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Could Snap cache pictures not exist depending on the way it was posted?
I don't know.
Okay. Mr. McClelland.
First Sergeant, there are some pictures from Snapchat that you were able to recover, correct?
Correct.
And there's at least one picture you were not able to recover.
Correct.
And on your timeline, you have an asterisk by that. That was the 1407 picture.
Correct.
Do you have any explanation why you were able to get some of the pictures, but the one at 407, sick, you were not able to collect?
I don't have an answer.
Not 407, I'm sorry.
207.
1407, which is 207. That was a bad question, sorry. So again, do you have any explanation of why you were not able to collect the picture that was uploaded to Snapchat at 207?
No, don't have an answer.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Could it be that Libby's Snapchat account was accessed from a different device?
Could be.
Nothing further.
Does the data from the iPhone tell us a start and end time for the 2 floors climbed?
No. It falls within the other movement that's going on at that time.
Mr. McClelland.
In your report, First Sergeant, I want to draw your attention to the first report, page 8.
Yes.
And the last line there, where it says, flights climbed 2 floors, 2/13, 1431. When you say it falls within the other data, what do you mean?
So what I'm getting at is those 2 floors, whether they're climbed up or down, I don't know, they're just an elevation change, and it falls in line between the 1425:22 or 2 hours 25 minutes and 22 seconds and 1432:39 or 2:32 and 39 seconds p.m., falls in line when that is happening.
So on February 13th of 2017, there were 50.64 meters traveled from 2:25 p.m. to 2:32 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
And those 2 floors or 2 flights were climbed during the movement of that 50.64 meters?
Correct.
And that's what you mean within that time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. No other questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
Nothing.
What happened to the Apple Health app data between 2 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds and 2 hours 25 minutes and 22 seconds?
The phone was not detecting any movement at that time.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
So again, First Sergeant, draw your attention to page 8. That gap, February 13th at 2 hours 18 minutes and 48 seconds and February 13th at 2:25. Your testimony is that there's not health app data missing. The phone was just not moving at that time?
Correct.
No other questions, Judge.
Ms. Auger.
No, thank you.
How did you determine Mr. Allen had no connection with Abby and Libby and to the murder from the phone data?
Which phone data, Your Honor?
I'm assuming it's the phone data that was asked by Ms. Auger. I think you were asking about his devices.
Devices.
Yeah, his devices.
From his devices, when I went through, I didn't find any information regarding like Libby or Abby's contact information, no interaction or communication about them. I mean, there might have been some internet history where he regarding like what was going on with the news, but there was no direct communication or that Mr. Allen even knew the victims.
Mr. McClelland.
You did locate internet search history regarding Abby and Libby?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
Ms. Auger.
That was after the murders?
Correct.
And you don't know who actually performed that search?
Correct.
No, nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Sergeant Cecil. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the day. While you go on about your own business now the rest of the afternoon, and into the evening, please, remember what I've told you repeatedly. You're gonna be able to repeat all of this back to me in a couple of days. Please don't talk about the case amongst yourselves, since you will be in the company of the bailiffs. Have a safe and peaceful evening, and we will see you all tomorrow morning. Gentlemen.
All rise.
Jury out at 4:56 p.m.
All right. Is there anything we need to do outside the presence of the jury?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. And those in the audience, if you'll just wait a minute, so we can get the jury out towards their vans. Jody, you can go off the record.
Off record at 4:57 p.m. On record October 24, 2024 at 9:02 a.m.
All right. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the record in State of Indiana versus Richard Allen, 08C01-2210, MR1. I'll show the defendant Shear in person with counsel. State is here by the prosecutor and his deputies. We are outside the presence of the jury, and the jury has been reassembled. Are we ready to proceed, Mr. McClelland?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Let's go.
All rise.
Jury in at 9:05 a.m.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. I'll always give you time in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, to get your things out and get ready for before we start the process. Take your time. And please, let Jody know if you need any additional pens or paper or anything like that, okay? All right. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is nice to see you back here this morning. I know when we part company, I give you the admonishment. I know over the evening, under the supervision of all three of our bailiffs, one of which who is not here today, throughout the course then of the evening you've had access to your phones to communicate with your families and to check work emails and kind of touch base with everybody. So in light of that, have you read, seen, or heard any media accounts concerning this case?